This is the Netherlands. It's one of the smallest countries on Earth. So how did such a small country have enough power to shape early America? And why did America fear them? To understand this, we need to go back 400 years, when the Netherlands became a superpower. Okay, so back in 1602, the Netherlands did something absolutely insane. Look at this map. See all those lines crisscrossing the world? That's the Dutch Empire. Back then, they controlled global trade. Indonesia, Africa, America, they were everywhere. What's crazy is they did this with a company, not a government. They created a super big company with its own army, its own warships, and it could even start wars. This company was called the Dutch East India Company, and it made the Netherlands so powerful that Britain and early America were terrified. The Dutch had more ships than the British Navy, more money than most countries, and weren't afraid to use them. Other countries would send one ship at a time to trade and pray it didn't sink. The Dutch sent 200 ships all at once. Wait, how many ships are we sending this year?
200!
200? That's more than Spain sends in 5 years.
Clever, isn't it? While they send one ship and cross their fingers, we send so many that we don't even care if we lose a few.
What if pirates attack us?
Our ships have more cannons than most countries' entire navies. Pirates see us and run away screaming.
We're not just selling stuff anymore, are we?
Nope, we're an empire now, baby!
By 1650, Dutch ships were everywhere. They controlled the spice trade from Indonesia, they owned trading posts in India, they had colonies in South Africa and the Caribbean. And guess what their secret weapon was? Ready for this? No, not guns, not more ships. It was being nice to people. Crazy, right? While other countries were kicking out Jewish people and being mean to anyone who believed different things, Amsterdam said, "Come on in, everyone's welcome." Jewish refugees came and brought banking skills. French people came and brought crafting skills. Germans came with trade connections. Everyone brought something useful, and Amsterdam became the richest city in Europe almost overnight. Then, in 1667, the Dutch did something so bold, it still sounds fake. They sailed their warships right into England's backyard, up the Thames River, and destroyed England's best ships. They even stole one and sailed it back home like a boss. But the Dutch weren't done yet. They were about to invent something even more powerful than warships. Okay, so in 1624, Dutch merchants bought Manhattan Island from the Lenape people. They traded some cloth, beads, and tools for it. Today, that same land is worth over $1 trillion. That might just be the best deal in history. Now, here's where the Dutch were different from everyone else. Spanish colonists enslaved the native people. British colonists pushed them away and stole all their land. But the Dutch were nice to everyone and just wanted to trade with them so everyone could make money together. Why fight when you could make friends and get rich? A guy called Peter Minute ran the colony, and even he couldn't believe how crazy the rules were. I mean, they weren't even he didn't mind what religion people were. Different cultures were protected by law. Wait, so we're just letting everyone worship however they want? Yep, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, anyone who wants to trade. But the English colonies to the north are hanging people who believe different things. And how is their economy doing? Terrible actually. Exactly, being nice to people is good for business. But the other colonies are gonna call us crazy. What's that? I couldn't hear you over all this money we're making. By 1640, New Amsterdam, that's what New York was called at first, was unlike any place on Earth. 18 different languages were spoken in the streets. Black people, some enslaved, some free, lived and worked there. Jewish merchants traded to German craftsmen next to Dutch sailors. Other European colonies were very strict about religion. Everyone had to be the same. But New Amsterdam was complete chaos, and it was working. The city's streets followed the natural waterways, just like back in the Netherlands. They built canals, they built a trading spot that would later become Wall Street, and because they treated Native Americans like business partners, not enemies, nobody shot arrows at them, unlike in the Wild West. The Dutch learned their languages. They made fair deals. They traded European stuff for beaver furs and stuff. While other colonies were fighting constant wars, New Amsterdam was getting rich through teamwork. Then, in 1664, 4 British warships showed up and said, "This is ours now." The Dutch colonists looked around. They were outnumbered, nobody from the Netherlands was coming to help. So they just gave up, without fighting. The British renamed it New York, but they couldn't change what the Dutch had built. The tolerance, the diversity, the let's make money attitude, it was all baked into the city forever. Meanwhile, back in Amsterdam, Dutch bankers were inventing something that would change the world. Okay, this next part is really important, and also kinda wild. In 1602, Amsterdam invented the stock market. This was genius, and it had never been done before. The Dutch East India Company raised 6.5 million guilders. That's like raising billions today. Suddenly, regular people, not just kings, could get rich. Wait, you need money to build a ship? Yep, ships are expensive. But if you give me some money now, I will give you more money when I sell the spices. So I just hand you money and hope you come back? That's right. Think of it like this. If you give me 5 guilders now, I come back with spices, sell them for a huge profit, and give you 7 guilders back. Wait, so I make money without doing any of the work? Now you're getting it! Welcome to capitalism, buddy! And Amsterdam's bankers also figured out that money is more powerful than armies, because armies need money. Soldiers don't work for free. Cannons cost money, ships cost money, so if you control the money, you basically control everything. Amsterdam had basically become Europe's bank. See this? When England needed cash for wars, they went to Amsterdam to borrow it. When France ran out of money, Dutch banks loaned them some. Every major power on this map owed the Dutch money. The Dutch had become the Bank of Europe. England was to borrow $2 million for their war with Spain. Ooh, nice. We'll charge them interest and make a fat profit. Exactly. Better than spice trading. I don't have to worry about ships sinking or pirates. And if they lose the war? Not our problem. They still have to pay us back. Wait, so we basically own a piece of England right now? Yep, but let's not tell them that. By 1700, Amsterdam controlled Europe's money. If you made Amsterdam mad, they could cut you off from loans, and without money, you couldn't do anything. England learned this the hard way. Even though they had the world's biggest navy, they needed Dutch money to pay for it. If Amsterdam said, no more loans, no more loans, England would be in big trouble. Then, in the 1770s, something happened that would make Britain really mad. Some rebellious American colonists started demanding freedom, and the canny Dutch saw another chance to make some money. So Britain was fighting the American colonists who wanted independence. Yeah, everybody knows that. But what you didn't know was that the Dutch were helping America big time. Dutch merchants were sneaking weapons through George Washington's army. They were also loaning America tons of money. Britain called this treason, the Dutch called it good business. Without Dutch help, the American Revolution would have failed in like 6 months. In 1776, American colonists declared independence, and Dutch weapon sellers immediately got to work. Ships loaded with gunpowder sailed from Amsterdam to Dutch islands in the Caribbean. From there, smaller boats smuggled the weapons to American rebels. The British knew full well what was happening, but they couldn't stop it. The Dutch Navy was still super powerful. If Britain attacked Dutch ships, they'd start another war. Your Majesty, the Dutch are giving weapons to the rebels. Can we sink their ships? Well, their navy could destroy half our fleet if we tried. Then blockade their ports. They control more ports than we do, sir. Fine, seize their money. We can't. We owe them millions. If we steal from them, they'll demand we pay everything back immediately. That would bankrupt England.
So we just sit here and watch them destroy our empire?
Unless you want to fight 2 wars at the same time?
Ah, I hate the Dutch.
By 1780, the Dutch had loaned America enough money to buy millions of muskets, thousands of cannons, and basically everything an army needs. But then, an American ship sailed into the harbor of a tiny little Caribbean island called St. Eustatius. It was showing off its brand new Stars and Stripes flag. When that happened, the Dutch fort fired a cannon salute to say hello. This was massive. It was the first time any foreign country recognized America as a real nation. Britain got so mad about this they started a whole new war with the Dutch, called the Fourth Anglo-Dutch War, basically to stop them giving money to America. They attacked Dutch ships, seized their Caribbean islands, and tried to bankrupt Amsterdam's banks. But it was too late. The damage was done. America already had enough weapons and cash to win, and fighting the Dutch and the Americans at the same time stretched them too thin. By 1784, Britain had lost. American leaders had won their independence.
America!
Hooray! Woohoo! All right! And now they had to build a brand new country. And because the Netherlands were so feared and powerful, they decided to base America's financial system on Amsterdam's. So Alexander Hamilton, who was a founding father of America, traveled to Amsterdam to study their banking system. He walked through the stock exchange, asking how it all worked. Wait, so your money just grows by itself?
Yep, we don't just stuff gold in a vault like kings do. We put it to work. We make loans, we invest, the money makes more money.
And anyone can do this? Not just rich people?
A farmer with a little bit of money has the same chance as a prince with a fortune.
Surely that would never work in Europe, though. They care too much about fancy titles and royal blood.
Which is precisely why Amsterdam got rich while other countries stayed broke.
America needs this. We don't have kings holding us back.
Then you'll be more powerful than all of us. We're stuck with old world thinking. You're not.
By 1800, New York looked super Dutch. The streets still followed these old Dutch canal patterns. Wall Street was built in the exact same spot where Dutch merchants used to trade. Trinity Church stood where Dutch ministers used to preach. Even the Declaration of Independence borrowed ideas from a Dutch document written 200 years earlier. Thomas Jefferson, another founding father guy, had studied Dutch political ideas before writing it. And the Dutch influence didn't stop in New York. In 1847, a group of Dutch settlers founded a town in Michigan and called it Holland. Today, it still feels like you're walking through the Netherlands. Windmills, tulip festivals, Dutch architecture everywhere. It's basically a little piece of Amsterdam dropped right into the Midwest. By 1850, America's economy had grown bigger than the Netherlands, and by 1900, Wall Street controlled more money than Amsterdam could dream of. The incy-wincy country that Britain and the old America once feared had created a giant. Insane, right? But you know what's even